What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And you're currently watching my weekly gaming news segment, except I did miss last week. I tend to do that every once in a while, but hey, I was sick. The good thing is last week was kind of a slow news week. This week has been way more interesting, but we got both last week and this week to cover, so we got a lot to get into. Before we get started, let me give a big shout out to my sponsors, GlassesUSA.com, the folks who make these pairs of glasses that I'm currently wearing. And every pair of glasses you've seen me wearing over the last 6 months. I shop exclusively now at GlassesUSA.com. Now, not only do they have high-quality lenses and high-quality frames, they got designer brands, and they have some less expensive brands as well. In fact, if you're looking to get a pair of glasses today, for about $48, you can get a pair of lenses and frames shipped to your house, and you really can't beat that. You can start shopping for glasses right now by clicking the link in the description box below. There's a special discount there for you as well. If you click on that link right now, and you can start shopping for glasses, and if you choose to buy a pair, you'll be supporting me as well, and you'll be getting some high-quality frames and lenses at the same time. So this week, the big game that's dropping is, of course, Prey by Bethesda, and this is kind of like a reboot or a remake or a sequel remake. I don't really know exactly. Anyway, it's similar to the original game Prey. And it's a game that we all been waiting for a sequel of, or at least a reboot of, for quite some time. Now, unfortunately, Bethesda is being Bethesda here, so that means no review copies in the hands of YouTubers or even review-based websites until probably the night before the launch or the day of launch. So that means you will not be able to see a full review of the game before the day that it comes out. But the good news is there is a demo available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One that allows you to play about the first hour of the game. And of course, if you buy it on day one with Steam, you can always refund it as long as you haven't played more than 2 hours of it. So there are ways to try the game before you buy, but you may want to wait till the reviews come out, and you may want to watch somebody stream it or play it first before you plunk down your money. Now, as much as I detest this practice of not sending out review copies in time for reviewers to finish a review before the game comes out, I find that to be very anti-consumer. At least they did come up with a demo that allowed people to test the game, even though that wasn't on PC. But one of the developers of the game actually said, PC players have Steam. If they don't like the game, they can refund it. I love the fact that they're confident enough about their game to where they are encouraging you to refund it if it doesn't work on your system or if you just plain don't like it. I think that's pretty cool. So I still wish they sent out review copies instead. I hope this policy changes eventually, Bethesda. But I like to see you playing ball still, at least in one way. But of course, now keep in mind, the very last game that was released on PC by Bethesda would be Dishonored 2, and Dishonored 2 simply did not work for the majority of systems when it came out on PC. So if you're a PC buyer, I'd wait for Total Biscuit's port report or something like that. I would definitely wait to see whether or not this game at least runs correctly before you purchase it. Now, the good news for those Switch owners out there, and there's quite a few of us at this point, there's now a second must-have game for the Switch, and it's, of course, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And look at these reviews. 93 by the critics, and a user score of 8.6, and that's pretty damn good. Now, you know me, I always find something to complain about, so I will complain about one thing. I supported this game on the Wii U, I paid for the DLC there, and then, of course, this game, I had to buy it again fully for full price at $60. No discount for those of us who supported the game earlier, but this version of the game does include a lot of fixes, a lot of little tweaks, a fixed battle mode that wasn't on the Wii U version, all the DLC that was available on the Wii U version, which not everybody bought all of anyway. So all the tracks, all the characters, all of the stuff, and a bunch more is built into this game. So it's hard to get a little frustrated by it, even though I've now bought the game twice and bought some of the DLC twice. But I mean, honestly, as good as this game is, $60 is a pretty damn good price for this game. I think the big question a lot of people will have who haven't played it, how does it run on the Switch? And I got to tell you, it runs really well. It looks amazing on the television. It looks amazing even when I'm streaming it. It looks amazing handheld. It is amazing. It really does show off the power of the system and what it will be able to do. And sure, it's no PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, but then again, I can't put an Xbox One in my pocket. Hell, I can barely fit those things on a shelf. Also, in other Nintendo news, or Nintendo news, I guess we could call it, they have shown off some of the details of the expansion pack 1 for the DLC for Zelda. And keep in mind, you have to buy the bundle in order to get access to this stuff. So $20 to get this and some storyline stuff down the road. Now, this does include those trials that they talked about. I think there are 45 total rooms in the trial. They say about 45 total rooms, so I guess they don't know what they're going live with. And if you complete all of those trials, your Master Sword will always be in its powered-up state. I think it means still run out of power every once in a while, but I guess it'll always do 60 damage instead of 30 damage. I think that's what that means. There's also some new outfits together. There's a new hard mode, which includes some pretty cool stuff, including, check out the screenshot. They said monsters in the sky. Monsters will regenerate, and they'll be one level higher than they normally were. So a red bokoblin would be a blue bokoblin, and I guess there's an even higher level mode that doesn't exist in the normal game. So if you want to play the game in hard mode, you can do that. There's a little transportation beacon that allows you to set a waypoint. That's what I call it because they played EverQuest. But you set a waypoint, and then you can teleport to whatever waypoint that is. So there's a specific spot that you like to visit, or specific spot you like to jump away from, or something like that. Just gives you a new teleportation spot. And I think that's pretty much everything, including in the first DLC pack. Some of the outfits are pretty cool. I mean, you could dress up like Tingle if you hate yourself. So, interesting fact, Nintendo released a new piece of hardware this month. After the successful launch of the Switch, they have now decided to go ahead and release the new Nintendo 2DS XL. This is exactly like a 3DS XL, the new one with the better chip and the better power and everything else, except it just basically takes away the 3D functionality. And that is designed because, 3D functionality can be damaging to kids' eyes. So this is designed for the 5, 6, 7-year-old who wants to start gaming. And this is supposed to be the entry-level system, at a half the price for the Switch. Now, a lot of people were baffled by the release of this because the timing is weird, and it's like a competitor with the Switch, which they want to do well. But Reggie Fils-Aimé did explain today that, again, like I said, this is an entry-level device for very young kids that you would not trust with a $300 Nintendo Switch, knowing it's not even that durable. You don't want them dropping it. You don't want them losing it. This is a kind of a mid-end device between nothing and a high-powered system like an Xbox One. The Switch being, maybe a step down from the Xbox One. This would be the very, very entry-level thing. It's tough, it's durable, it doesn't have the 2D, and it's going to give you that Super Mario Brothers, Mario Kart feel. I think that's a good reason for the product to exist. I think the timing was really, really weird. And I think a lot of kids are going to get this for Christmas and be super disappointed because they want a Nintendo Switch and they want to play Zelda and they don't want to play Mario Kart at 240p or whatever this thing puts out at. But I get that it's a good alternative for the very young kid. And I think it's a good companion piece for the kid who you don't trust to take the Switch on the go. So you get them this as well. They have the Switch as the home system, and that stays at home, and then you let them carry this thing around. And maybe one day on vacation you let them take the Switch. I don't know. Weird choice, though, because I do think it can be very confusing for consumers. But Nintendo never takes that into account. Otherwise, why would this thing be called the new Nintendo 2DS XL? The new portion, pointing out the fact that it's got the new hardware. The new. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, Nintendo. You confuse me so badly. Wanted to take a little bit of time this week to give a big shout out to the guys over there, Ben Brody and the team of Hearthstone, for reaching a milestone of 70 million Hearthstone players. 70 million people have played that game. That is incredible. Now, if you know me at all, you know I am obsessed with card games, and digital card games are no exceptions, and this continues to be the best digital card game that I have ever played. Even though it's a little luck-oriented, and it's fairly expensive to really be competitive in, there's definitely casual ways to play it, and my wife plays it casual, and I play it hardcore. We still manage to play each other all the time, and she still manages to beat my ass fairly often. If you haven't logged into Hearthstone in a while, you probably should, because they're currently giving away 3 free packs just for logging in to celebrate this milestone. So this is not a paid promo or a spot or anything like that. It's just I really, really like this game, and I like having more newbies to destroy in that game with my massive legendary collection. And then I do want to talk about this, even though I find it so frustrating to talk about it. But there are rumors that we could see the PlayStation 5 as early as 2018. We addressed this about 6 months back. Let's address it again. So as usual, we do have an industry analyst who's gotten things right in the past before predicting this. The problem is, as a consumer, this would be so nonsensical. Now, the theory says that with the Project Scorpio coming out later this year, and it being the definitive console of this generation, PlayStation has to make a choice. Are they going to try to upgrade from the PlayStation Pro, which is completely blown away by the Scorpio, or will they just go ahead and jump into the PlayStation 5 line, making it fully backwards compatible, and basically making it upgrade to PlayStation 4, but calling it a PlayStation 5? I really don't see that happening. I expect to see a PlayStation Pro Plus. I don't think they would be silly enough to call it a PlayStation 5. I don't think they'd be silly enough to create exclusive games for it, because this is only 5 years into the console's generation, so it would be absurdly premature. And here's the other reason. Even if Scorpio sells millions of units, and it will, I don't see them even competing with the current stranglehold that PlayStation has on consoles right now. PlayStation is in every home. Xbox is in only half as many homes. I see no reason for them to do this, because if they do, it's going to erode consumer confidence. I think the correct way to handle consoles going forward is exactly the way we do our phones. You know, Samsung and Apple, the way they do their phones, a new generation every year, every 2 years, but it's fully backwards compatible. Your app library, your gaming library comes with you. It's exactly the same way we do with PC gaming. You know, new video cards every year. You can build a new system whenever you want to, but it's always fully backwards compatible. If that's what they do with the PlayStation 5, I think that's a reasonable choice, especially if there's a huge power bump with the PlayStation 5 that blows the Scorpio out of the water. The problem is the Scorpio is so high-end for a console, I can only see it competing with it and not necessarily moving forward. Xbox is into that mindset of just Xbox One. That's what they decided from the very beginning. There'll always be Xboxes from here on out, just different iterations of it that are fully backwards compatible. Rebranding and restarting over when you have the lead is a really stupid idea, and I hope somebody at Sony figures that out. But here's what I will say. If you do release one more PlayStation console, and it does have exclusives on it, I wouldn't call it the PlayStation 5. I would call it the PlayStation Prime. I would make it the very final PlayStation that you ever plan to make, and just continue to upgrade for that for the next couple of decades. And if that's what you do, and that's what you're planning on doing, well, remember, I thought of it. So pay me. But I think that's going to do it for this week, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Big shout out again to my sponsor, GlassesUSA.com. Don't forget to hit that link in the description box below and shop for some glasses to support the show and keep it coming. As usual, guys, thanks for watching. I love you very much. Don't forget to give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't. Check me out on Twitch, because I stream 5 nights a week, and I'm loving it over there, and I hope you love it as well. Guys, as always, I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.